Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I'm your host, HerobrineWarns, and welcome back to HerobrineWarns Game of the Year Awards we're doing. So today we're going to knock out two categories. We're going to knock out the games for next year and the meh games. And that's because both of these are really short categories. So what are these? The next year means games I started but didn't vibe with. However, I don't feel they got a fair shake this year. So as a result, I'm going to actually put them off to a later date. And they'll come back in, say, 2025 or possibly even 2026. And hopefully then I can actually give them a better, more fair assessment. So there's only two games on this list, which is why it's being combined with the next category, which is meh. Now, what's the meh category? The meh category are games that I didn't feel deserved to be in the loser category like the last video. However, I didn't like these games, or they didn't vibe with me as much either, or there was something that held them back from reaching the status of honorable. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Mario Galaxy 2. Nothing against this game, I just could not get into it. I tried, got about halfway, gave up, it didn't vibe with me. We'll try again next year though, because who knows, maybe it'll surprise me. Maybe I'll be in the mood for some more Mario Galaxy, but as for 2024, it's getting kicked to next year. Skyward Sword HD. I tried, but man, the Switch controls can be finicky and rough. It's just did not work out. But I do want to try this game. Maybe I'll have to restart my playthrough on the Wii or something, but I just could not get a hang of the Switch controls. With that out of the way, let's go on to the meh games of the year. Number 5. Pools. Oh boy. So this game blew up for some reason online. I guess to take advantage of the liminal spaces craze that was going on earlier this year. And really that's all this game is. You're just running around pools and liminal spaces. There's not much else to talk about. You're just in these kind of looping hallways just full of pools and structures. You can sprint, but even in the game's description, it says there's no monster there chasing you. And all the reviews say that as well, that there's not actually anything coming after you. It is just you running around pools. That's all there is to pools. That said, before I go and bash the game, because it is incredibly boring to play, unless you're into liminal spaces, the thing is a technical masterpiece. I mean, you can just see how beautiful and realistic these environments are, or how good the water physics look. It is a technically impressive game, and to its utter credit, it's also very hardware demanding. I mean, I tried playing this on a 3060 and a 3070, and even still, I had to lower some of the game's details because it's really technically demanding. So I would take this more like a Crisis or a Cinebench, I guess, in a weird way to think about it. Rather than thinking about it as a crazy game, think of it more of as a technical showpiece where you can show off like the capability of modern gaming hardware. But yeah, that's pools for you. It's just there's not much to talk about the game itself. It's just interesting as a technical piece. Number 4. Back 4 Blood. This game's interesting. For lack of better terms, it's a zombie survival game. Your goal is to kill like a bunch of zombies and reach the next safe house. It's literally just Left 4 Dead, but modernized and on new platforms. But also, that's kind of was my issue with this game, is that while playing it, I just kind of kept telling myself, why don't I just play Left 4 Dead? Or Left 4 Dead 2? Why am I playing this over those games? It's not bad. It's just it just feels like Left 4 Dead, and it makes me want to play Left 4 Dead instead of this. That's all I can say. It's not bad. It's just, if you play Left 4 Dead, you know exactly how this game plays, because it's just that. I think there's like a loot box system, but I didn't interact with that. It's not needed. It just makes you feel and want to play Left 4 Dead. That's all I can say about this game. There is nothing else interesting I got about it, which is why it's here in the meh category. Number 3. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. Sorry, it's a long title. I have nothing to say about this game. It's just a fighting game. Like it's alright. It's not bad. I mean, it's free if you want just a basic roster, which is what I did, but I have nothing exciting to say about this either. This is like the most meh of the meh as far as how I feel about it. There's just, nothing I can say. Next game, please. Number 2. Needy Streamer Overload. This game is definitely not for me. It's one of those management games where you have like 3 or 4 different stats you have to manage. You have to keep everything above 0, but not let any of them hit 100% either. The basic premise of this game is you're this girl's boyfriend, but you're also her content manager. So you're trying to help her try to become like a popular streamer on this platform. It's not called YouTube or Twitch, but I mean, it's pretty much YouTube or Twitch. But there's also other things you can do, like you can go on dates or go to the store or engage in certain activities with each other. But there's also other weird things, like there's these hidden folders here where you unlock these depending on what endings you get. And there's 30 endings in total. I think I got about 6 out of the 30 endings. I got further than is shown in this gameplay. I actually got to like day 15. However, that laptop I played this on, the laptop died due to a graphics card failure. So I don't have any of that footage. But I did get decently far. It's just, I'm not in the market for this type of game. It just doesn't appeal to me. But I felt I'd give it a try because I saw some interesting videos about it. So I was like, I'll take a look. I will say there are dark aspects of this game. For example, like you can, if you let her stress get too high, she'll start engaging in cutting or self-harm. If you let the stats get too low, that can have effects. Like if your affection gets too low, she'll cheat on you. Or if you ignore her messages for too long, she'll cheat on you. And then on the flip side of that, you can also, if you say get mental darkness, which is, I guess, depression to 0, you can, she'll quit streaming because she feels she just wants to prioritize herself. So, again, it's one of those management games, but it's just not for me personally. Not a bad game, just not for me. Number 1. The best meh game of the year. Blade of Agony. Blade of Agony is a massive mod for Doom that adds a huge campaign that's based around Wolfenstein 3D. It is about BJ Blazkowicz and his buddy, whose name I forgot, trying to find the Blade of Agony, as well as stop the Germans' various other experiments. This ended up in the... This is a really good mod, I mean, technically, and story-wise, it's decent. It's just, playing through this, it's amazing to see all the various technical work and insane coding bits and details they've added to this. So why is it in the meh category? It's too long. Like, it's cool, the whole, hey, but it's just... I mean, it took me, like, 2 years to beat this game. And, like, that sounds like a good thing. Oh, it's a lot of a good content, but it's just one of those where I almost wish it was broken up into, like, sections of mod, because it makes it kind of hard to move on, or because it takes so long, it's one of those where it's going to take you quite a few playthroughs to actually beat the game. I do wish it was a bit shorter, or it was broken into separate mods instead of being one giant mod, but the other thing is that sometimes sense of direction isn't good. It's really easy to get lost, and there's so many buttons. I mean, there is an objectives tab, but there's so many buttons, and again, because you're probably going to play through this multiple times over the course of months, it's easy to forget which button is which. So it's one of those where it's a good mod, it's just a little too much in my opinion. I think somebody said it was like 12 hours of like, or no, I think somebody said it was like, I forget what the exact number was, but on their website they even say it's like double a normal AAA game in terms of lengths, which is, again, if you really like this mod, you're going to have a field day because it goes on for a long time. But if after a while kind of killing Germans senselessly gets kind of old to you, then this mod is just kind of going to get boring, or you're going to wish it was over. Which, again, I kind of is why I wish it was in multiple bits instead of one huge mod. But again, it's not bad. It's definitely going into the not great, but like, you know, it's on the better end of the meh category is what I'll say. It's just, if you decide to play this, it's a massive undertaking. And with that, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed and you somewhat appreciate this category. I know most people, they like to go best and worst, but I felt like there's some games that, you know, you just kind of feel are there, or you have mixed feelings about. And despite that, you know, I felt it was worth mentioning what some of those games were. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video, which hopefully should be honorable mentions before we jump into Game of the Year. Have a good day, everybody.